Now, Ukraine says it's facing fuel shortages as Russian forces destroy the country's oil and gas infrastructure. Fuel is running low in many areas, including Kyiv and Dnipro. Some regions are restricting purchases to 10 liters of gas at a time. President Zelenskyy has vowed to prevent shortages, but admits it's a difficult task, more so after a key refinery was hit by a Russian missile. For more, let's bring in Lana Zerkal, who is an advisor to the Minister of Energy in Ukraine. She joins us from Kyiv. Hello and welcome to DW. So, Ukraine needs fuel to move people, goods and military gear across the country. But does it have enough to make that happen?
Hello. We are in a situation where we have a shortage due to missile attack on our own refinery. So now after this attack, we need to replace this shortage with an import. And this is also a challenge for us because Odessa, which used to be our main port and entry gate for the fuel, is now blocked by Russian vessels, military vessels. And on the north, we have of course, Belarus, where we also used to consume some fuel and diesel in particular. And all to these routes now are completely out of possible supply. So that's why we need to reroute our supply chains and to get fuel from our neighbors. And here we, of course, also have a number of logistic issues and problems.
Okay, I mean, knowing all of these challenges and the possible logistic problems, still President Zelenskyy and also Ukraine's economy minister said that fuel shortages will be eliminated within a week or two. How does the government intend to tackle the problem?
There are a few dimensions how the government is going to tackle this problem. Of course, we very much rely on the supplies from our neighbors, as I just mentioned, and we made everything possible in order to supply this gasoline and diesel to Ukraine. It will take some time to deliver it to the consumers, but we hope that in a week's time we will manage to do this. And the second, of course, challenge is the necessity to raise prices, because we don't have a possibility to supply from the national refinery. That's why the government will have to increase prices and to change the formula of price.
As you also mentioned earlier, Ukraine's energy supply infrastructure is a constant target of Russian strikes. What is the key plan here? You mentioned a couple earlier, but what is the key plan here to secure these vital pipelines, although there definitely are challenges expected in doing so?
You know that pipelines, especially gas pipelines, that's the most secure place in Kyiv, or in Ukraine in particular, because despite the war and despite these incredible losses in our infrastructure, our gas transportation system still remains the most secure place in Ukraine. They don't target any particular pipeline, especially those which supplies gas to Europe. As for the rest of our transportation system, especially refineries and diesel supplies and diesel warehouses, that's the most dangerous places. And we don't keep any more particular amounts of gasoline or diesel in any warehouse because they target them and they destroy them.
Okay. Now, you have been very critical of the EU's energy relations with Russia. What is your main concern of how it affects the ongoing war in Ukraine?
Europe is the main consumer of Russian energy products. And that's in the particular current circumstances, is the main source of finances to the war. So that's why we are very critical for this source of financing the war. And we do believe that Europe has the chance to stop these financial flows and to keep all the money, at least in Europe, till Russia. will come back to the normal situation and to the normal relations. I still do believe that this is possible and that Iranian model, which was introduced to Iran, can work with Russia as well. And that's why we continue to work with European politicians and persuade them that Russia will not be in the position to shut down gas supplies because they physically cannot keep all this amount of gas in Russia. So they will continue to supply even if even if Europe introduce this escrow account and will keep money on the account.
Okay, Lana Zerkal from the Ministry of Energy in Ukraine. Thank you.
Thank you.